Morning. My
Wait.
name is Harley. I work for United Truck Driving School. I'll be doing a pre-trip for California only. This is what you guys need to know to pass the DMV pre-trip in California. Start at the front of your truck. All my lights and reflectors are secured, not cracked or broken. They are clear and amber in color. My mirrors are secure, not cracked or broken, clean, and adjusted to me. My truck is not leaking. My truck is not leaning, which would indicate a flat tire or a broken spring. You have to open the hood yourself. If you cannot open the hood, you will not pass the pre-trip inspection. Come to the passenger side of your truck. My coolant reservoir is secure, not cracked or broken, not leaking, and filled to the proper level. My coolant hoses are secured, no rips, tears, frays, and cut, not leaking. My alternator is secure, belt driven, working properly. My alternator wires are attached properly with no rips, tears, or cuts. My alternator is also belt driven. My belt is secure, working properly with proper tension, no more than 3/4 inch of play. You actually touched it to show it. My water pump is secure, not leaking, working properly, and gear driven. My exhaust is secure, not leaking, no sign of soot. Then you come to your passenger, your driver's side. My air and electrical lines are secure, no rips, tears, frays, or cut, not leaking, and working properly. My engine block is secure and not leaking. My oil is secure. Come up, guys. If you can't see, come up forward. It's okay. Come over here. No done with that. My oil is secure, filled to the proper level. I will check my oil here, fill my oil here. My air compressor is secure, not leaking, and gear driven. My power steering pump is secure, not leaking, and gear driven. My power steering hose is secure, not leaking, no rips, tears, frays, or cuts. My power steering reservoir is secure, not leaking, and filled to the proper level. Both my power steering caps are tight. My power steering gearbox is secure, not leaking. My power steering linkage, which consists of a drag link and a pitman arm, is attached with a calcium nut and cotter pin and working properly. My frame, not cracked or broken, no illegal welds or hammer marks. My spring mounts are secured to my frame. My springs are secure front and back in alignment, not cracked or broken. My U-bolts are secured around my springs and tight. My shock is secured top and bottom and not leaking. My airline to brake chamber has no rips, tears, frays, or cuts, and not leaking. My brake chamber is secure, not leaking, and no dents. My slack adjuster is secure, working properly. I would check with the 1-inch manual pull, no more than 2 inches of the push rod applied. Then you go to lining shoes and drums, which are inside. My lining shoes and drums are secure, not cracked or broken, and no missing rivets. My linings can be no less than 1/4 inch at its thinnest point. There is no oil, which would indicate an inner oil hub seal leak. My drums, there's no bluing, which would indicate overheating. Inner and outer rims, not cracked or broken, no illegal welds or hammer marks. It's got a good bead to tire. I would check proper tire inflation with the commercial gauge. My front tire, my inner and outer sidewalls, no abrasion, bubbles, or cuts. My front tires must be new tires. They cannot be retread. Tires must match, must have even tread wear, can be no less than 4/32 of an inch. I got a valve stem that is centered, not rubbing, and not leaking. All my lug nuts are present and tight, no rust or shiny areas to indicate looseness. I have a wet hub that is secured, not leaking, and filled to the proper level. My doors open and close. My windows go up and down. My handrail, which is on the inside of my truck, is secured to the cab. My mirrors are secured, not cracked or broken, clean and adjusted to me. My batteries are secured, not leaking, filled to the proper level, and no sign of corrosion. My fuel tank is secured and not leaking. My fuel straps are secured around my fuel tank. My fuel cap is secured with a good gasket, chain, and T-bar. My crossover lines are secured, not leaking, and the valve in the open position. Pause it. Now we're at the back of the truck. That way. My exhaust is secured, not leaking, and no sign of soot. My exhaust mount is secured to my frame. My drive shaft is secured, not bent or twisted, and no sign of debris. My torque rod, which is right here, is secured from my differential to my frame, not bent or twisted. My air lines are secured from my tractor to my trailer with glad hands, not leaking and working properly. My electrical line is secured from my tractor to my trailer with pigtails and working properly. My air and electrical lines must be at least 2 inches off my catwalk. My catwalk is secured to my frame and free of debris. My airbags are secured and not leaking. No rips, tears, frays, or cuts. Airbags. Then you go to your second axle. My frame, not cracked or broken, no illegal welds or hammer marks. My spring mounts are secured to my frame. My springs are secured front and back. They're in alignment, not cracked or broken. My U-bolts are secure and tied around my springs. My shocks are secured top and bottom and not leaking. My airline to brake chamber is secure, not leaking. No rips, tears, frays, or cuts. My brake chamber is secure, not leaking. No dents. My slack adjuster is secure, working properly. I would check with a 1-inch manual pull, no more than 2 inches in the push rod applied. My lining shoes and drums are secure, not cracked or broken, and no missing rivets. My linings can be no less than 1/4 inch at its thinnest point. My drums, there's no balloon to indicate overheating. There's no oil, which would indicate an inner oil hub seal leak. I have Bud rims that are tight, free of debris, and no spacers. Inner and outer rims, no legal welds, not cracked or broken, no hammer mark. It's got a good bead to tire. I would check proper tire inflation with a commercial gauge. Inner and outer sidewalls, no abrasion, bubbles, or cuts. My tires can be retread. My tires must have even tread wear. Can be no less than 2/32 of an inch. I have 2 valve stems that are centered, not rubbing and not leaking. All my lug nuts are present and tight, no rust or shiny areas to indicate looseness. I have a dry hub that is secure, not leaking, and filled to the proper level. Third axle. My frame is not cracked or broken, no illegal welds or hammer marks. My spring mount secured to my frame. My springs are secured to, front and back. In alignment, not cracked or broken. My U-bolts are secured and tied around my springs. My shocks are secured top and bottom and not leaking. My airline to brake chamber is secured, not leaking. No rips, tears, frays, or cuts. My brake chamber is secured, not leaking, and no dents. My slack adjuster is secure, working properly. I will check with a 1-inch manual pull, no more than 2 inches in the push rod applied. My lining shoes and drums are not cracked or broken, secure, not cracked or broken, no missing rivets. My lining can be no less than 1/4 inch at its thinnest point. My drums, there's no bluing, which would indicate overheating. There's no oil, which would indicate an inner oil hub seal leak. I have Bud rims that are tight, no spaces, and free to breathe. Inner and outer rims, not cracked or broken, no legal welds or hammer marks. It's got a good bead to tire. I would check proper tire inflation with a commercial gauge. In and out of sidewalls, no abrasion, bubbles, or cuts. My tires can be retread. My tires must match, must have even tread wear, and can be no less than 2/32 of an inch. I have 2 valve stems that are centered, not rubbing, and not leaking. All my lug nuts are present and tight. no rust or shiny areas to indicate looseness. I have a dry hub that is secure, not leaking, and filled to the proper level. My mounting is secured in my frame with no missing bolts. My platform is secured in my mounting with no missing bolts. My safety handle is secured and locked. My safety latch is secured over my safety handle. My skid plate is properly greased. My apron is secured to the bottom of my trailer. My kingpin is secured to my apron. My kingpin is not bent or twisted and free of debris. My locking jaw is secure around my kingpin. I have a fixed fifth wheel. So this is fixed fifth wheel. It does not move.
Either fixed or adjustable, right?
Fixed or sliding.
Sliding, okay.
My mud flaps cover at least 75% of my tire, not ripped or cut. All my lights and reflectors are secured, not cracked or broken. They are red in color. Pause that. Ready? Front of my trailer. All my lights and reflectors are secured, not cracked or broken. They are amber in color. Front of my trailer is secure. No damage, no missing rivets. My header board is secure. No damage. It's on the inside of my trailer. Side of my trailer. All my lights and reflectors are secured, not cracked or broken. They are amber in color. There's no damage on the side of my trailer. I have no missing rivets. That's what these are, your rivets. My running board and floor supports has no illegal welds or hammer marks, not cracked or broken. My landing gear is secured at the bottom of my trailer. My landing gear supports are secure with no missing bolts. My landing gear is free of debris. My landing gear goes up and down. My landing gear handle works properly and is locked in the landing gear. What is that called? My landing gear handle is secure. My landing gear handle is secure and working properly. Thank you. My air and electric lines are secure and off the ground. I have sliding tandems. My pins are locked in place. My cast, control arm, stabilizer, and torque rod are secured, not bent or twisted, and working properly. They're inside here. Fourth axle. My frame is secure, not cracked or broken, no illegal welds or hammer marks. My springs are secure. My spring mounts are secure front and back. My springs are secure in alignment, not cracked or broken. My U-bolts are secure and tight around my springs. My shocks are secure top and bottom. I think the fourth one doesn't have shocks. I made a mistake with that one. Yep. Sorry, the fourth axle does not have shocks. My Airlander brake chamber is secure, no rips, tears, flares, or cuts. My brake chamber is secure, not leaking, no dents. My slack adjuster is secure, working properly. I would check a 1-inch manual pull, no more than 2 inches in the push rod applied. My lining shoes and drums are secure, not cracked or broken, no missing rivets. My linings can be no less than 1/4 inch at its thinnest point. There's no oil to indicate inner oil hub seal leak. There's no bluing, which would indicate overheating. I have bud rims that are tight, free debris, and no spacers. My inner and outer sidewalls, not cracked or broken, no illegal welds or hammer marks. It's got a good beat to tire. Inner and outer sidewall, no abrasion, bubbles, or cuts. My tires can be retreaded. Tires must match, must have even tread wear, and can be no less than 2/32 of an inch. I have 2 valve stems that are centered, not rubbing, and not leaking. Now on this trailer is different than the other trailers. I have Dayton rims. I'm gonna tell you guys the difference. Regular trailers or regular rims are bud rims with no spacers. These are Dayton rims with spacers. All my lug nuts are present and tight, no rust or shiny areas to indicate looseness. I have a wet hub that is secured, filled to the proper level, and not leaking. they're on spring equalizers, and my spring equalizer is secured to my frame. Oh, I missed on my third axle, and this is what you guys can do with the DMV. I missed on my third axle. My third axle is on shock absorbers. It also has the spring brake adjustment, and to check that, I would chalk my wheels, release the brakes. I would check with a 1-inch manual pull, no more than 2 inch on the push rod applied. So the DMV, you can say, hey, I missed this, and that's okay. You're allowed to do that. It's not like the air brakes, all or nothing. Fifth axle. For my frame is not cracked or broken, no illegal welds or hammer marks. My spring mounts are secure front and back to my frame. My springs are secure front and back, and in alignment, not cracked or broken. My U-bolts are secured around my springs and tight. My airline to brake chamber is secured, no rips, tears, furs, cuts, and not leaking. My brake chamber is secured, not leaking, and no dents. My lining, shoes, and drums, not cracked or broken, no damage, and no missing rivets. My linings can be no less than a 1/4 inch at its thinnest point. My drums, there's no balloon to indicate overheating. There's no oil, which would indicate inner oil hub seal leak. I have Dayton rims with spacers free of debris. In or out of rims, no, not cracked or broken, no legal welds or hammer marks. Just got a good beat to tire. I would check proper tire inflation with a commercial gauge. In or out of sidewalls, no abrasion, bubbles, or cuts. My tires can be retread. Tires must match, must have even tread where it can be no less than 2/32 of an inch. All my lug nuts are present and tight. No rust or shiny areas to indicate looseness. I have two valve stems that are centered, not rubbing, and not leaking. I have a wet hub that is secured, not leaking, and filled to the proper level. I have spring equalizers that are secured in my frame and are working properly. Then we come to the back of the trailer. My lights and reflectors are secured, not cracked or broken, and red in color. My doors are secured, not damaged. My doors open and close. I have a DOT bumper. I have a DOT bumper that is secure. My mud flaps cover at least 75% of my tire, not ripped or cut. This is very important. Remember this, please. I would check my passenger side the same way I would check my driver's side. If you don't do that or say that, if you don't say that, you just lost them points. And then before you conclude your pre-trip, you take a second and think, did I miss anything? If you did not miss anything, you then say, this concludes my pre-trip inspection. Yes.
Okay, so you're saying